Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Give us just a moment here to get started. Go ahead and drop a comment there in the chat as you tune in. Definitely appreciate it. We'll get started here in just a moment. Great topic here for today. Hope everybody's been having a great week so far. And it looks like we're live on all the platforms, so we'll go ahead and get it started here. I'll keep the chat up on the screen there. Go ahead and keep dropping comments there. And you can also drop any questions you have in the chat as we go through the presentation here today. All right, so welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our CSO, Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender that specializes in non-QM loans, and what we do every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern on this show is go through our actual live rates, and then we do a deep dive into a different topic. So Jose will have a topic for us here today of limited review condos. So we will go through that here shortly. But first, we're going to go ahead and, excuse me, we're going to go ahead and pull up today's rates. So let me go ahead and share my screen here and we will get into it. All right. Okay. So you'll see here, we'll start with the 30-year fixed conventional, obviously the loan that most people think about when they think about a mortgage. You'll see here 6490 is the lowest rate we have here available with the APR of 6.802. The next version here, the next option here, FHA, a little more lenient on credit and certain factors there. You'll notice the rate is 5.624, final APR of 6.605. So cheaper APR here on the FHA right now than the conventional. Next up here, we have a 30-year fixed VA loan. Definitely an amazing product here if they qualify, right? This is for active military or veterans. And you'll see here rates as low as 5.75, APR 6.043. So definitely the best option up there if your borrower qualifies. Next up, we have the USDA loan. This is only for eligible properties in a USDA designated area. You'll see rates as low as 5.75, APR 6.451. Now, that wraps up most of the options that most lenders have. But here at the Mortgage Calculator, we love all of our special programs and our non-QM programs. We have over 5,000 programs here in-house. And starting here with our 30-year fixed non-QM alt doc primary, right? So different qualification here for income. Typically, this is going to be a bank statement loan. You'll see here, we also have options of profit and loss and all kinds of different options here. You'll notice that the rate is as low as 6.499, final APR 6.809. Now, we also have the alt doc for investment property. Again, typically bank statements or 1099 or P&L. For the income, you'll see the rates as low as 7% there. Final APR 7.35. Now, you'll see here, next, moving on, a 30-year fixed conventional as we go through more investment options here. So 30-year fixed conventional investment, 6.875, final APR of 7.211. Now, moving on to one of our favorite programs here, which is DSCR. So DSCR requires no income from the borrower, no employment from the borrower. We're simply going to go based on the debt service coverage ratio of the property, meaning does the rent cover the expenses, right? That would be a ratio of 1.0 or higher. So right now, 30-year fixed DSCR and for an investment property, which they are only for investments, you'll see here coming in at 6.625, final APR 6.951. And not only is the DSCR cheaper, but is a much more streamlined program. So pretty much 100% of investors would choose the DSCR with a cheaper rate, much easier to qualify for and much easier loan to get done. This does have a 3-year prepayment penalty on this option. And if we move here to our DSCR investment property, if we add a 5-year prepay, you'll see that the rates are as low as 6.499. Final APR is 6.809. Now you'll see here we also have a DSCR option with no prepayment penalty, which is definitely an option, but you're going to see obviously an increase in the rate there. Rates as low as 7.0%, final APR 7.35. Now, some more amazing products we have here are our 30-year fixed second mortgage. So as opposed to doing a home equity line of credit, we can offer an actual 30-year fixed second mortgage to get cash out of people's homes without touching that first mortgage. Especially right now, a lot of people got a very low rate when rates were, the lowest. And so they may not want to touch that first mortgage and may want to go ahead and do a second mortgage without having a variable rate HELOC, right? So 30-year fixed second mortgage on a primary residence, rates as low as 8%, final APR 8.384. Now, we also have a 30-year fixed second mortgage for an investment property, which is really awesome. Rates as low as 9.375%. Final APR there is 9.761. Now, we also have some cool options here for 40-year DSCR investment. Notice it has a 3-year prepayment penalty on it as well, but definitely an amazing option, a 40-year DSCR investment, which is also going to help your DSCR ratio, right, when you're on a 40-year as opposed to a 30-year. And then we also have the 40-year interest only, which again is going to definitely help your DSCR ratio there, with rates as low as 6.75%, final APR 6.821%. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our topic for today, which is limited review condos, which we don't go over here on our regular rates. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jose here to talk about today's topic of limited review condos.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. The limited review condo process, not to be confused with non-warrantable condo loans, is a process whereby at a reduced loan to value, the condo questionnaire does not have to inquire about the budget or the finances, which seems to be a very complicated matter. Sometimes if the building does not have at least 10% of the annual budget in reserves, then it would not be eligible for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, low down payment financing. And it would not be eligible for Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac financing, period, unless you were not to have to ask those questions, which is what the limited review condo process does. At a reduced loan to value, then you do not have to ask about the budget and you do not have to review the budget. So it is offered 75% LTV maximum first mortgage for primary, 70% LTV maximum LTV for an investment property. And the good thing also, which you'll see in a minute, is that we're also allowed to go up to 90% CLTV, which is great for the primary residences where you can add a HELOC to get to 90% CLTV, 75% on the first, 15% HELOC, and then 10% down payment. So let me go ahead and share the options I have for you today. Our first option here is the straight purchase 75% LTV. So there is not, and this is a real important point I'd like to make, there is not a button that you click, for example, to ask for a limited review condo loan. That seems to be some confusion. It is just an accepted process of the review that if the LTV for a primary condo purchase, for example, is 75% or less, then it is eligible for a limited condo review, and then processing has to request the correct condo questionnaire. If you go and you request a full review condo questionnaire and submit that to underwriting, then that's just what you submitted. However, just note that you do have the choice of condo review questionnaire at 75% or less. So again, no loan level price adjustment for going limited review condo. 7% is our lowest cost option at par, and we can buy that down all the way to 6.375 at a cost of 2.125 points for our 75% LTV limited review condo conventional purchase. Our next option here is our limited review condo conventional investment purchase. So here the LTV does drop to 70%, but again, the same benefits of limited condo review, no questions on the budget. 7.375 is our lowest cost option with a lender credit of 0.125, and you can buy that down all the way to 6.5% at a cost of 2.375 points. Now, our next option is a non-QM limited review condo loans. Great news is that non-QM does allow limited review condo purchases or loans, for primary and investment properties. However, what I will note is that they follow the more restrictive Fannie Mae Florida guidelines, which actually I should have stated here that the guidelines I'm following here are the more restrictive limited review condo for Florida. For the rest of the U.S., it's 90% LTV for a primary and 75% LTV for an investment. So I'm showing you the more restrictive Florida guidelines here, but non-QM does follow the more restrictive Florida guidelines regardless of the state. So here we are at 6.999 as our lowest cost option at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 6.25% at a cost of 2.125 for investment purchase, 70% LTV condo loan. And our last option here, leave the best for last, is the HELOC combo purchase that is available. In this case, what would hold you back here will be the HELOC guidelines. So we are able to go for a primary purchase up to 90% CLTV for the HELOC. So our first mortgage is at 75% LTV, and then we have a HELOC for 15% for a CLTV of 90. This one gives us the added benefit of no mortgage insurance at 90% CLTV, only 10% down. So 7.25% is our lowest cost option at par, and you can buy that down all the way to 6.375 at a cost of 2.25 points for our HELOC combo purchase. And here we have our HELOC here, which is $75,000 HELOC. 13.25% is the payment, on that HELOC. So 90% CLTV, HELOC combo with limited review benefits. So look to the mortgage calculator for all your limited review condo loans and non-warrantable condos, agency, and non-QM.
All right. Thank you, Jose. I don't see any questions here in the chat, so I think we can wrap it up, but definitely great info to have, especially if you're in Florida, but just, again, an important point there. If you're going non-QM, it's going to go by those guidelines. So be careful of that regardless of what state you're in. So that was a great point to make. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up then. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Remember, we do this at 11 a.m. Eastern every weekday where we go through our live rates and then do a deep dive into a different topic. So we'll be back tomorrow with a new topic at 11 a.m. Eastern for the